Our guest says the trade war is going to be a long slog over the next 4 years of President Trump's term. He says one goal for Canada should be saving the Canada-US-Mexico trade agreement, CUSMA, the replacement for NAFTA. We're joined by Mark Warner, a principal counsel at MAAW Law. Thanks very much indeed for coming on, Mark. It's interesting. So you say just tit for tat, fighting back at hitting Trump back on each tariff measure may not be the way to go. We should be thinking about preserving what we have, the furniture, that trade agreement.
I think so, because basically I think that when we actually lower the passions and the tensions, we find that, the United States still is the next best option for Canada. I mean, the notion that we're going to replace 75% of our exports in Europe is just crazy talk, really. I mean, we have had the CETA in effect for a number of years now and barely moved the needle on that. And the Trans-Pacific partnership, I mean, there are some opportunities there, but most of those countries want to sell to Canada. They're not waiting for us to sell to them, other than the kind of raw materials, so that we go back to being the hewers of wood and the drawers of water that we didn't like to be in a relationship with the United States. So recognizing that the United States is our next best option, we have to figure out how do we, like I say, save the furniture for the next day. I mean, Donald Trump presumably is not going to be there forever. We've had pretty good success with this agreement. Let's try to keep it so that we can work with it as we go forward.
For public consumption, the Prime Minister, Mr. Carney, says he's going to hit back at the tariffs. But you think maybe just kind of being a bit more aikido about it and just dodging the blows and not necessarily retaliating might be the way to go?
Well, I have a hard time figuring out where Carney is on all these issues. I mean, we're all reading the tea leaves with Trump and we're reading the tea leaves with Carney. One day he recognizes, as an economist should, that a country that is 1/10 the size of the United States really can't do this silly Chrystia Freeland phrase of dollar for dollar retaliation. So I was pleased when I heard him acknowledge that, because it made me realize he actually does have a PhD in economics. But then at other times he seems to go back and talk about retaliating. So I'll be interested to see what Canada does today. I would hope that we have to do something symbolically. I hope he keeps the rhetoric to a minimum. Mm-hmm. And then he keeps talking about Europe in a way, to me, that I don't understand, this idea that he could possibly see that Europe could replace the relationship we have with the United States. So I don't know if that's public consumption, something to say on an election, but we need to get back to the idea that we have to save the furniture that is the Canada-US Free Trade Agreement. Mm-hmm. And maybe it means we have to be more realistic. We did this agreement, we made some concessions on dairy, and then we basically implemented it in a way that completely frustrated American market access that they thought they'd negotiated for. We made an agreement that strengthened the rules of origin around auto imports. And no sooner than we did that, we turned around along with Mexico and brought the very first case under the dispute settlement mechanism to sort of say that we could have Chinese auto parts classed as Canadian auto parts or Mexican auto parts, which is crazy. And Biden didn't like that any more than Trump liked that. So we've got to figure out what can we offer to Trump to say, no, we get it. The climate around if trade has changed in the United States. We are prepared to have a more serious discussion with you. And that might include harmonizing some of our third-party tariffs with some of the countries that they're upset with, like China. We did that under Trudeau and Biden with the electric vehicles 100% tax. But we may have to go beyond that because, essentially the question Americans are saying and have been saying since the first Trump renegotiation of NAFTA, hey, if you want to be in this agreement, you got to have a similar policy to what we have with a state trading country like China.
You have one idea that maybe Canada and Mexico would seek a customs union with the U.S. It might be a good strategy. What do you mean by that? What's a customs union in this context?
Yeah, so we have right now largely a free trade agreement, which is to say we all agree to give market access, preferential market access to our respective markets, the three countries. A custom union is sort of when we say, in addition to what we do between the three of us, we're also going to agree to treat a third party or a set of third parties the same way. And in this case, the third party I think everyone's thinking of is China. So we would basically say we would have the same tariff policy across the board, not pick and choose, not one particular product, steel, aluminum, electric vehicles. But we would say, you know what, given the significance of trade with China, And given the significance of that relationship impairing the bargain that Americans think they have with us, we're prepared to go across the board. And even when we think of a customs union, it may need to go further to formalize similar rules in the investment space. Now, we've done that informally with certain Investment Canada, strengthening of Investment Canada reviews in the mining sector and state-owned trading. But we may need to actually go further with that and harmonize with their CFIUS reviews. But I guess the point is, we know what the American principal concern is. It's with China. And so we know that what their frustration with Canada and Mexico largely, and I think this is bipartisan, has been with the idea that we try to straddle the fence or ride two horses, whichever analogy you like. And so the question when I say customs union is, think about harmonizing the tariffs and think about being more explicitly linked to the United States and what is their principal concern.
Sorry, Mark, just so I have that straight, this would be a customs union involving Canada, Mexico, and the US. And we'd all three nations have a common tariff policy when it came to China. Sorry, we're tight for time.
Yes, that's the idea. The idea of specifically with respect to China, and there's some questions of whether you could isolate China, but that's the starting point of the conversation, it seems to me.
Mark, thank you very much. Great hearing from you. Mark Warner, Principal Counsel at MAAW Law.